Hello, horror fans, and welcome back to Do No Harm. I believe that this will be the last episode of my first playthrough of the game. Now, I'm already intending to play through the game probably at least twice more to get two more endings for sure. One's going to be a very brief playthrough, I think. The next one will be playing through after that on the chill mode and playing through the game again in its entirety to try to get a different ending. We'll see after that what we do. But yeah, my plans for that is that it's going to become a weekly video after this episode pretty much, and those weekly posts will start after the Warhammer 40k finishes on the day that it's on. I'm going to play through Warhammer 40k and Warhammer 40k 2 first, then we'll return to Do No Harm at that point. But for now, let's finish up this first playthrough, see what happens in our last 2 days here on the island. Garlic, salt, 10 things to keep them away. Eclipse is coming, creatures roam the night, people blame the doctor. So I'm to blame for this. Great. So we got to knock at the door. The devil's at the gate, mate. Keep a sharp eye. I did get my laudanum in, so that's good. Alright. Yeah, the priest is at fault for this. We sort of knew that. Not really surprised by that. This is who I was hoping... Oh, no, it's the girl again. Okay, we got people on a boat and the priest there. Very confused about that. Here's who I was hoping to see today. Doc, hope you received my letter. Please don't feel bad if you can't help me. I mean, I've been through this before. Still, if you got anything up your sleeve, feel free to give it a shot. I chose to save Marianne over the captain, and I'm hoping this works. There we go. We healed her. Panacea. I can't believe it. I'm cured. How? What was that? Ugh. Can't silence the scientist in me. Never mind me. Thanks, Doc. I owe you my life. I'll see you soon. Alright, so we gave her the prescription. I should have actually checked to see if there was any issues with her. That's my fault. Whoops. Alright. We definitely know we need to use the laudanum here. Everything's like watercolors painting. Something. I forgot. All blurry and smudge. I think it's too serious. Small dose should be fine. Alright. We will give her the small dose here in a little bit. Should use the diagnosis tools. Do apologize for the sight, but just gonna check to make sure we don't have any issues that we can see here. Nothing going on there. Somebody did suggest that I might want to use blended medicines, and I completely agree with them. The mixtures would be a good thing, but I don't know. Oh, they're feeling worse. So they had 6, and that was a -1. But I don't know what mixtures to give, so that's sort of where the challenge comes in. Alright, I'm going to just start with a 1 on red and see where this gets us. Medicine's working. Alright, so that's good. So that was a +1. So probably a 4 or a 5 is where we need to be. You're actually better than I expected. Perfect. There we go. I do feel bad about the fact that I did not look, I did not analyze the last person there when I used the Panacea, but it is what it is. When the captain comes in next playthrough, we will go ahead and take care of the captain. Alright, we already helped this person. You know what? Let's try it again. Yellow bile, 6 doses, 2 doses of blood. Maybe that's Ooh, yeah, we definitely need a blend. Oh! Alright, we finally heard something different. Let's use some laudanum. Definitely some laudanum. There we go. Alright, let's see here. Doesn't know what's wrong, though, so, yeah, let's try this cheat treatment again. 6 doses of yellow bile and 2 of blood. So 6 mixed with 2. Didn't do much of anything. Alright, showing yellow as what we need to give her there, so let's go with that. Let's try 2. Feeling better. That gave a 0.7 only. Alright, so 2 is basically a 1. I'm gonna say let's go with a 7 here and see what happens. Nothing. Huh. I can't even give her anymore. Alright, that was a complete waste there. Very interesting. Leave it, heal it or transform level 3 fisherman. So they were a level 3. We did heal them some, so I guess that's a good thing. They're feeling worse. Hello, doctor. I've not, quite off, but I don't know why. Alright, so they had 9 of the black, and that was a -1. So we're either in the yellow or the red. Let's give a red and see what happens here. Actually, let's go ahead and diagnose first. Ooh, we've got some swelling around the eye. That might be a useful tool. Glad we finally had one where we actually heard something with the person. Let's see here. Red eyes, eyelid swelling, yellow bile. Alright, so it's the yellow that we need to use with her. So let's do a 2 on the yellow and see what that gets us. Feeling better. That was a +2. Alright, so 2 was a +2. And the 9 was a -1. So that should be right there. We could go with a 3. There we go. Fully healed. And unfortunately, that's going to be our last patient for the day. Didn't get through many people. We really just need to make sure we have medicines and the laudanum, I'd say. That's our big things here. Definitely need the laudanum. That little mute girl was here again, Cassandra. I enjoy her drawings more and more. They seem oddly realistic. So yeah, we healed Miriam, which is good. Definitely need that. Actually, we can just get everything. There we go. And I believe this will be our last day. So let's see what happens. Why am I not surprised to see you? The eclipse arrives tonight, my dear kin. We are finally there. Thanks to you, my path is filled with meaning, and my sacrifice dignified. The cycle of the lost city shall be completed once more, and I shall pass the torch down to you. Find us tonight at the sacrificial ground, and become the sleeper's priest, my king. Take my life and give it meaning. I will wait for you, and we shall unite under his dark design. The cycle continues as long as his call can be heard. So, that is not dead which can eternal lie, and with strange aeons even death may die. Okay, so I get a choice here. I'm going to run away. Step out of my office and the cold darkness of the looming eclipse washes over me in a silent, hostile night. I start running for the shore as panic boils in my chest. But before long I hear sickly, wet slappings on cold cobblestone following in my path. When I force myself to turn and look, they are behind me, and when I turn ahead again, they are there too. Their scaled, gruesome arms take strong hold of mine as they drag me through the alleys, and we arrive at a large clearing before long. And when we step into the clearing, they are all there. The creatures I regretfully helped populate the village with, along with a few villagers who seemingly have no problem with this dreadful ritual. And then there is the priest. And he walks to me with genuine sorrow in his eyes. His pain is so immense that I suspect no one could only gaze this way at their brother in the face of a terrible betrayal. He embraces me and plants a kiss on my neck. Then, as they force me on a stone block covered in dark red stains, the priest speaks. Your hand was to help mine, my kin. The cycle was to be completed once more, yet you went and stole the eclipse from me. You robbed me of my rightful fate. But do not despair, my fool kin. Your arrival was not entirely in vain, as you have nurtured his chosen ones, and now we shall go on without you. The cycle of the lost city shall continue until the waters swallow us beneath the dark design of his stars and awaken him. Until then, the sleeper of Raleigh calls, and we answer. As he stands over me with an unholy silver blade in his hands, as my end approaches, I watch as what little meaning of my insignificant existence once held crumbles away. I feel completely alone for the first time since I came to the island, and realize that my fate in this unholy unity was the only companionship that kept me unknowingly sane. Deep within, I held onto it. Deep within, I wanted it. Yet it is too late now, and in the endless, silent dark, I feel the maddening overwhelm of such a meaningless existence. As the priest drives his cold blade through my chest, I can't wait to be saved from myself. Fully aware that this is my last breath, yet without hesitation or remorse, I speak the words I only heard once in my life. That is not dead which can eternal lie, and with strange aeons even death may die. And right before I leave this world, as the pain in my torn chest stretches the existence moment into a pseudo-eternity, I know, as I would know anything else that stands crystal clear in existence and perfectly well placed in proximity, that my decision made no difference. Things will slowly go back to normal on this little forgetful island. And they will have a new, unknowing doctor in town. And the cycle of the lost city shall continue without me. Okay, well that is one of the endings. And I will say, with the way it ended, I'm going to go ahead and replay that particular day so we can get at least one of the other endings. I know there are many more endings still to come, and as I said, there will be more playthroughs of the game. But since we're here already, and we pretty much have two choices that we could have made, let's see what the other ending to this choice would have been. Yeah, we already know what he's going to say here. I step out of my office, and the strangely lukewarm darkness of the looming eclipse greets me in the silent, barren night. Though I have no clue on the whereabouts of the sacrificial ground the priest has mentioned, my feet guide me through the empty streets of the village, and I arrive at a large clearing before long. And when I step into the clearing, they are all there. The very creature I helped populate the village with, along with a few villagers who had not transmuted into physical properties yet, but had so in terms of where their hearts lie. and somehow I realize I can now feel the cold, calm energy that pulsates from these strange creatures. Their vibration matches with something inside me, something unborn, yet very much alive. And then there is the priest. He walks to me with rejoiceful open arms and embraces me as one would a brother or a mother. He plants a kiss on my neck in compassion, a kiss on my forehead in wisdom, and a kiss on my mouth in unification. Hey there. Then, as everyone gathers around the stone block covered in age-old washes of faded, darkly red stains, the priest speaks. With your hand to help mine, the cycle will be completed once more, my dear kin, as I have done so for the kin before me, and as he did for the one before him, and so the cycle of Lost City continues. The cycle shall continue until the waters swallow us beneath the dark design of his stars and awaken him. Until then, the sleeper of R'lyeh calls, and we answer. He lies on the stone, and as I stand over him with the cold steel in my hand, I feel my insignificant existence finally fill with true meaning. Silent stars explode into supernovas within my soul, and I know for the first time what it means to understand this mad universe. And as I drive my blade through his chest, the priest's smile never falters. It grows instead, leaving me envious. Without realizing, I speak the words I had heard only once in my life, yet they are now seared into the drenched walls of my mind. That is not dead which can eternal lie, and with strange aeons even death may die. As I sink further into his flesh, the waters rise and powerful waves crash the shores. The creatures, now my family, howl in what can only be described as an ethereal, beautiful symphony. We bask in his coming, his glorious steps closing in. Soon we shall have a new doctor in town. And as the priest of our community, I will make sure to guide them in the ways of the great old one. Guide them so that they do no harm. Alright, so we actually got two endings there for this episode. Hadn't really planned on that, but that's the way it happened. As I said, I do intend to play through the game a couple more times. The next playthrough is going to be a very, very brief one, possibly only one video in length. Basically, what I intend to do is to upset the villagers enough by murdering as many people as I possibly can, so that they will hopefully take out their aggression on me. Then I figure that will be one ending. I think another ending is I have no intention of using the laudanum, so I'm just going to allow myself to go insane and see what happens with that. And then we will probably do another playthrough sort of on the chill mode. For one, I know we've got to save the captain instead of Marianne. The whole saving Marianne didn't really pay off for me there at all, so sort of curious about that. But I guess we'll see as time goes on. For now, though, as I said, that will come in the future, and it'll have a specific day of the week where it will come one week after the other until we get through as much of it as we intend to on this game. For now, though, this is going to be the end of this playthrough of Do No Harm. I really enjoyed the game. It definitely captures a lot of the Lovecraft lore and feeling that I was hoping for. It was a lot of fun to play. The controls are very easy to use. I highly recommend it if you enjoyed what you saw on my channel. And as I said, if you did enjoy, please go ahead and click that like button. If you've not already, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you're aware when I produce new videos in the future on this game and many others. With that in mind though, for right now, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to Do No Harm, but hopefully you'll be around to see more of it in the future.